friends, you're here for the Emily Awards Part 3. We have made it to Part 3. It's all about lips. Lip products are no doubt one of my favorite things to talk about makeup-wise. I have so many preferences, I have so many thoughts on lip colors, and this is a great way to share a lot of that in one video. So we're going to go category by category, giving the favorites, and actually what I've started doing in recent years, I can't remember when exactly I started doing this, I just try on everything as I talk about it. So you're going to see a lot of different things happening here. I have nothing on my lips right now. Yeah, I hope you've been enjoying the Emily Awards so far. My overall theme has been to really, enjoy those everyday moments, enjoy the little things. Let's stop making time feel like it's just whizzing past us, and let's try to slow down when we can. And it's tricky. It's a time of year we want to slow down and enjoy things more, but yet there is just so much to do. I kind of feel that pull in both directions as well, but I think if we just have an awareness of it and a desire to feel more gratitude for those little moments, I think they will stand out to us more and we will be prompted to hopefully just slow down a little bit, So I'm going to jump into my first category, and it is Best Lipstick. And I knew immediately what I wanted to name as my drugstore favorite. It's Revlon Super Lustrous. I feel like they're always good, just even if you're not particularly using tons of lipsticks, you could kind of acknowledge like, yes, that is a very good range of lipstick. Right now, I've very much come back into them. I recently did on my short form content a try on of a bunch of iconic Revlon Super Lustrous lipsticks. There's something about the product itself, and there's also something about the history behind it too, and how you can tap into certain shades that have been around for decades. I think that's really cool. And then I just struggled this year to find something high-end in this category that measured up to that buzz level for myself, that excitement level, and I just couldn't get there. And I went through everything. I re-exposed myself to so many different things. I just thought, if the high-end thing is not even close to the drugstore favorite, or this could go vice versa in various categories, then I don't think another favorite should be named. There's plenty of lipsticks I like, but just not on the level of Revlon Super Lustrous. So let's talk about these. A Revlon Super Lustrous lipstick. I mean, the packaging is so classic. This one called Bare Affair I have been using a lot lately. Really great classic nude if you've never tried this. And another thing to look for on Revlon lipsticks, you'll see a sticker that's kind of usually pretty indicative of the shade on the inside. And then it'll say like cream or pearl. All the ones I've pulled out here happen to be cream, but you'll know what finish you're getting into when you buy one. But I'm going to throw on some Bare Affair today because I feel like it's a great base to other shades that you might feel like adding in too. Like it starts here, and that's a really pretty nude. That's a nude I could be happy with. So often I adjust a nude, but I feel like, yes, I like that as it is. But then you take Rum Raisin, that's a very popular shade too, has been popular through the decades, and you add a little bit of that, and I kind of add it to the top lip, add it to the outsides of the bottom lip. Look at that, okay? I love that. They're so creamy. And Ulta has come out with like a special line of Revlon Super Lustrous lipsticks, and I will say they're very rich. They're very one swipe full color, and that's nice to see. However, they're charging a lot more for these. I feel like just in the traditional line, if you're maybe content with taking like swipe in some cases, or maybe still just one swipe, you still get really satisfying color. Even though those are nice and the packaging is extremely fun and flashy, the traditional Revlon Super Lustrous is where it's at. I will be linking below to videos where I have more info. Like I'll link to that one where I tried on just a bunch of different shades. We had pinks and berries and browns and everything in that video. But in this video, we're flying through a lot of info, and I've got my wipes. Got my sensitive wipes here, yes. We had the girls' dance show last night, night one. I'm hoping Rhett in particular is ready to get up and seize the day today because he was up late for him. Best lipstick in the matte category. Now, we have not yet made it to the category of liquid lipsticks. That's still to come, but we're just talking about a matte, like classic lipstick. And this is another one where I just have the one that I feel very strongly about, and nothing is quite measuring up. And this is an iconic product for me. What I'm naming here I've been using for years. I've used them on my kids, like for example, you know, you got a dance show. This is one of a couple different products that I think works really well. If you need a lip color that's not gonna go anywhere, not gonna transfer off and be really easy to apply. I'm talking about the Superstay Matte Ink Crayons, my loves. These are a wonderful product. If you are concerned, I've seen an increasing amount of people concerned about drifting outside the lips, and I think this is a very good option. And in my next category, I have a very no-fail option for not drifting. But these are a very special texture. For a long time, we may have been convinced that if it's gonna be a matte lipstick, a matte cream lipstick going across the lips, it's going to feel more dry. It's going to be uncomfortable. These puppies here, and some of these I've had for years, like the first one I ever had was Lead the Way. It still touches the lips and has a feeling of like thinning out and melting down a little bit, okay? And I love that. We love something that's able to give full color but not feel heavy. This soft pink, like this is probably one of my most recommended shades just in everyday life to people who just want something that can kind of work for anything. Isn't that a great shade? That might be the color I go on and wear all day today. Volunteering at the school, helping make some reindeer sweatshirts. That's why I've got on my Merry and Bright. We love Lead the Way. Settle for More is a beautiful, like really rich berry shade if you're into that, because this is a texture where you can wear your bold shades in this texture and not be concerned about them drifting all around. But Live on the Edge. Total fave. This one we're talking about that deep dusty rose. I'm gonna add it to this one. You might be tempted to call this one burgundy, but I feel like it's not quite as rich as that. It's got more brown in it. Look at that, just kind of fading into the lighter shade. I will always love that shade. That may be one of the most iconic shades, most loved particular shades for me. But these wear a long time, they last. They've actually got little sharpeners in the end if you want to keep the tip formed, like exactly as formed as it is when you buy them. But I've got, like in my cheer dance bag, I've got a bright red, I've got a bright magenta pink. If you have to draw them on a kid's lips, it is easier to apply these than a liquid lipstick. You just have more control. I love the format and size of a stick like this. A slim lipstick is always something I'm gonna really be attracted to. I promise in this video we're gonna get into some new favorites. We're gonna be talking about a lot of different high-end products too. We're just hitting some categories here where I just feel so strongly about the drugstore thing that nothing's quite measuring up to it. And you know, this might be a good problem to have, really, as far as I'm concerned. I love tapping into a good affordable option, but for best liquid lipstick, so here we're talking about something that's gonna go on in a liquid state, probably off of a doe foot applicator, and then it's going to set. So there are many matte liquid lipsticks out there that do a good job on staying power because again, you're putting them on, they're setting, there's a complete dry down, but there's a lot of variation in how that ultimately ends up feeling on your lips all day. Some are very, very drying, some are extremely finicky in the amount you put on. Like if you get slightly too much, it's gonna really look like kind of cracked and the crevices in your lips are gonna show. We mentioned people who don't want drifting outside the lips. The best thing for you, and it's gonna be comfortable, is Rimmel Provoca Lips. Okay, this product here, it's a double-ended thing, and you've got your liquid lipstick on one end, and then you've got your shiny, what I say feels like a liquid lip balm on the other end. It's not a pure gloss, and it's not one of those like CoverGirl Outlast topper stick things. It feels actually moisturizing. These shades are probably my three favorites. So we've got Heartbreaker, that's gonna be your reddish tone, kind of just a little softer than a fire engine red. Summer Lovin', more of a soft neutral nude, and then Wish Upon a Berry, we're talking kind of a medium pink. I'll put that one on right now. I can't let it set too long or else my lips are gonna be, you know, fully affected by this shade the whole time. But you put this first shade on, you let it set, give it time to dry completely, and then you put this top coat on, and it makes it look like just the finish of a cream lipstick, okay? That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna look probably about like this once this is dried down and you've put that top coat on, and it feels super duper comfy. Like I said, since I'm doing so many different try-ons here, I can't let that sit for long, but those three shades will give you a great wardrobe if you can track those down. And when we're talking long wear, those will last all day, even if you forget to refresh with this little other end. And by the way, you really do need to stick to the product. There's formula magic that happens using the top coat provided when it's assisted system like this, so stick with that. But even if you forget and you're like, I had a busy day, just had the color on there, and once the balmy glossy stuff wore off, there was no time to top it off again. That's okay. You're still gonna have that color all day. They're very hardcore. I talk so much about different Rimmel complexion products, give so much hype, but these are an amazing, super outstanding product from this brand. And then I wanted to give a shout out to one other thing, a line that's got me very intrigued, because I think this is an extremely long wearing one-step lip that isn't super uncomfortable, because my kids didn't complain about it, but like both my girls wore this at the dance show last night. It's the L'Oreal Infallible. It's called Matte Resistance. So if you are interested in that matte finish on the lips, not an ultimately shiny finish, this shade is 420. It's the perfect red. It absolutely brings faces to life. Now, like I said, you're applying it particularly on someone else. I feel like the doe foot in a bright red can be a little harder than a format like this. But when I say this lasted through drinks and buttered popcorn last night, it absolutely did. And I tried to take it off with a makeup wipe and I just kind of gave up. Very, very long wearing. And yes, it is a matte lip. A matte lip is never gonna feel as moisturizing and buttery as something that's glossy and shiny and creamy. I'm talking so much about my kids' experience with it, but I've worn it too. It's not overly drying. I would say always just use the bare minimum of products like this. There's no reason to go buy and add extra coats. It's super opaque. I'm just gonna indicate this to you on a hand swatch here, like one pass, everything you need. Make sure you're doing the minimum, like going across one lip, gentle blot to the other lip, and then just kind of smooth it out. And that's gonna make these types of products feel more comfortable. But that is an absolute beast for staying power too. And if you're like, well, why didn't you just put one of the Rimmel things on them? Well, for one, I felt like I needed just this brightest and most intense red color, but also realistically, I'm not gonna be putting that top coat back on them again. This is one and done, okay? One and done. Best lip balm. I've got two faves here. My drugstore fave is a repeat winner. This was recommended to me by my sister. This is a product called Lano Lips. It's their 101 ointment. It comes in some different scents. I have the watermelon one. I've used it quite a bit, but I feel like whenever I do use it, I don't need that much. This is a legit ointment, okay? It comes out looking like a little bit yellowy tinged, but this is thicker than anything. This does the work. If your lips are wintertime, dry, chapped, just awful, put some Lano Lips on there. It smells really good too, but it's thick. It is rich. The thickest of the thick, okay? This is a product that can definitely, with one use, can truly turn some dryness around. I have experienced stubborn dryness. This definitely makes a difference. And part of, I think, why it's so effective is that it's not like a Vaseline that's gonna go on and then be slipping right off. It is thick, it's hanging on there. When you're wearing it, you're really wearing it. The better it stays on, the more benefits your lips are getting from that product, and you're not feeling like, okay, I gotta apply more, I gotta reapply. It's like you're crock-potting your lips. You're setting it and forgetting it. You're not having to go back and apply this time after time to get the benefit, okay? So great product there. And then for high end, I know I've named this one that I'm gonna name as a favorite before, and for a time, one from Lawless, which I still like the ones from Lawless. But this year, Laneige with their lip sleeping masks has captured me more on scent, and I feel like this is a product where the scent should be fun. I'm looking over at what I have here, and I use these, I've talked about this a lot, but I'll use them morning and night. I'll use them right after my skincare in the morning and let my lips just kind of simmer in that while I'm doing the rest of my makeup, and also they're great nighttime before bed. The ones I have up here, I've got a watermelon one, and sorry if not all of these are always available, but the tubs are huge and you'll have them for a while. I got that caramel apple one a while ago, but these most recently became such a rediscovered fave for me when I got into the chocolate, and it was part of that s'mores, was it a s'mores duo set or something from Sephora? Came with a little vanilla squeeze tube and then this chocolate, and I don't know what it is, but I think I definitely owned some chocolate scented lip balms, makeup products when I was a lot younger, and that scent immediately takes me back. But beyond just the scent, let's talk practical use here. It's very, very moisturizing. It's not going to feel as thick and like bam, heavy duty lip ointment type deal as the Lano lips, but it's a more just like kind of softer, buttery, still rich, but taking you to a place of a classic balmy feel. Not so much that treatment lip ointment feel. And I just think it's a very ideal thing most days to just soften the lips up and get them prepped for whatever product is to come in your makeup routine. So just because they say lip sleeping mask, they're a great prep step for sure. Okay, I'm getting my ointment off because I'm gonna have some more things to try on. But don't you just sometimes feel like you're kind of a kid at heart and it's like, I want the fun scented stuff. It's a lip product. Give me flavors and scents and all that. I was raised on lip smackers. What do you expect? For best tinted lip balm, we have tons of options. I've really come into a classic this year. In the fall, I don't know if you recall, this was in a short video on all my short content, but I came into a little trio of these mini Burt's Bees. We're just talking the Burt's Bees classic tinted lip balms, not the lip shimmers, although I like those too. But these itty bitty guys, I tell you, when something starts to live in your purse, an attachment will be formed, you know, because when you're out and about and you need something on your lips, you're gonna be reaching for it. This shade called Red Dahlia, oh, I love putting this on. And it's tiny for your little purses, guys. It's tiny. Not like a regular size lip balm is hard to fit, but these are amazing. Look at that shade. Tell me that doesn't work for absolutely anything. It took my lips and it just made them a little more like soft red. The one called Rose is really good too. And then I got so into them, I thought I want to buy a full size one. And I got this shade called Daisy. They're so comfortable, so smooth. But like nothing new here. I just really have gotten into them. Daisy, we're gonna put that one on. I feel like Daisy gives me just a little brighter color maybe than Red Dahlia, but both are appealing to me in the way I like oh, my lips are just naturally pigmented this way. Shout out to my college roommate Beth, who always had lips that naturally looked like that, you know? Somebody told me I had naturally pigmented lips and I'm like, I really don't think I do. Mine just feel like a soft mauvey brown maybe most of the time, but this tone, it's so natural, but they're so comfy. And part of it too, I build them up a little bit. I never just leave it at one pass. I seem to just circle around a couple times. And that texture I'm left with is so just buttery, rich. I love these. I don't know how often Burt's Bees is putting out a little like trio pack of these teeny tiny ones, but like I got these around Halloween. I wouldn't be surprised if they did something for Christmas like that, but I'm super into it. Very much loving those. Remember when I said beware of the products that live in your purse, you will become attached? Definitely became attached to this next product. These are from Buxom. They're their full-on plumping lip glow balms, and the one called Cinnamon Kiss, I know I've mentioned it before, but it's one of those kind of out and about products for me. I love the feel of these. These are going to give you a more pigmented color than the Burt's Bees. The Burt's Bees, heavier on the balm, a little bit lighter on the color, but it's buildable. These more immediate color is what you get. And I do have from quite a while ago a TikTok that I'll link to below where I tried on the entire range. But oh, the smoothness. There's a melting down feeling as it touches your lips. Isn't that Cinnamon Kiss good? That's a shade I want to fall into anytime, any place. Yes. Lightweight, but giving a little bit of shine. It's taking me to a real Revlon lip butters place, if you know what I mean. But look at the formed stick. This is another part of it. Look at that teardrop shape. And it's smartly being hugged all the way up by the tube. So you're not going to have that experience where it's kind of a lipstick floating in a tube, and if you push too hard, it's going to come up against the side. No messes here. Very smart design, and very smart for when you want to put these on without a mirror, because I've been in that position many a time with this. But it's formed. You can tell, you can feel that shape coming right out to the outside of your lips, and there is like a little bit of that buxom cooling tingle happening, okay? Not uncomfortable, and honestly quite subtle, but it is there. Another shade I'll throw on here for you is the Blackberry Jam. Yes, they're all in cute pink packaging. Blackberry Jam, beautiful berry. Just kind of reinforced down in here. Isn't that cute? You know what I mean? Like, what a great shade to just throw on. There's a softness to them. They're not too much on pigment, but they're giving a very comfortable amount for me to even, like I said, apply them without a mirror. A lot to talk about now in this category of lip liners. I feel like lip liners are huge. Lip liners have had a huge moment for the last probably couple of years. Everybody's all about creating a lip combo, and a lot of times, honestly, those lip combos seem to leave out a lipstick, but will often often include a lip liner and a gloss. Has anybody noticed that? People love their lip liners, but let's make a good choice on the lip liner. Choose something that's going to have amazing staying power. Nothing compares to Revlon Color Stay. That is still the top dog. I've tried a lot of lip liners. I've tried lip liners that to many are iconic and super popular and best sellers. Revlon Color Stay comes in a wide range of shades. Nude will always be a must-have for me because nude is a deepened nude from this line, and it's so fun to pair this with softer shades. But I'm just going to put this on my lips as is. Retractable lip liner. This is the standard that I hold all lip liners to. And I found another drugstore range that I'll talk about in a second that is also very close on staying power. Not as easily accessible as Revlon and not quite the shade range of Revlon, but still really, really good. But that's Nude, you know, and so often I find myself not even filling in my whole lips with the shade, but I'll put the lipstick on and then kind of adjust with this. But if you want ultimate staying power, you're going to take your lip liner, put it all over your lips, and then go sort of lighter on glosses that are on top, if staying power is the priority, because glosses will break down lip liners eventually. But one thing that can hold up very well to most anything that goes on top is a Revlon Color Stay lip liner. So Nude is that classic essential shade that's going to be so handy working in with lots of other shades. And I like more colors from the brand than just Nude. Look, this is even giving me resistance just to get it off, just for that short amount of time. But they've got great berry shades, reddish shades. Just take your pick. The formula is consistent shade to shade. But another line I've really fallen into this year is Catrice. They have something called Plumping Lip Liner, and I guess we're just gonna give them a pass here because I don't feel like they do anything plumping at all. And that's okay with me because they are extremely long wear. I've tried a handful. I've got two shades that are the favorites. One is called Cheers to Life, and that's gonna be your mauve shade, and then Go All Out is kind of a deepened neutral. I'm gonna make some thick swatches here so you can really see. They're gonna go on the lips looking fully opaque. Go All Out feels a lot like Maybelline's Live on the Edge, that brownish deepened dusty rose. There's definitely a little bit of dusty rose there, but then look at that mauve. That's Cheers to Life up above. They're going on your lips looking exactly that opaque, and they're easy to apply, maybe a hint creamier than the Revlon going on, but extremely good adherence to the lips. And then for high-end, Biscuits is with us now. I was wondering whether or not to even mention this because it's like one particular shade that I'm really into, maybe a couple, and my attention really got on them with this Starlit set. So it's like two mini lip liners. One is the Wherever Walnut, one is Limitless Brown, and then they give you a clear gloss. Wherever Walnut is the kind of shade I think you can turn up from a lot of different brands. And yes, I have full sizes of these as well, not just from the mini set. So, but Wherever Walnut kind of makes you think, maybe a little lighter take on Nude from Revlon, but you can fill in your lips with a very everyday shade, and I like this formula. They last very well. But I love this Limitless Brown. If you're looking for a really good brown, look what happens when you kind of mix them in. Look, get that edge at first, and then just kind of lighten as you go in. Start to fill inward, start to fill from the outside. I just love the act of seeing these shades together, and then blend. I love when the lip looks like that. It's lightening up a little bit on the lower lip. And then let's show what that looks like with just a clear gloss on top. That's so good. I love that. And I've used that Limitless Brown in a lot of other ways too. Not always pairing with Wherever Walnut. This has been a year that I've really gotten comfortable with a good brown lip. And I wanted to talk about that because it's just been a thing for me. For best lip gloss from the drugstore, we do have a two-time winner here with the Maybelline Lifter Glosses. I love the Lifter Glosses. I feel like they came out with a really good range that had some nice kind of sheer tones, tones with sparkle, things that gave a little multi-dimensional look to the lips. And then when they came out, and look, I've used a lot of that. When they came out with these kind of like sheer, semi-colorful, transparent tones, I was completely and totally hooked. Now, one thing with these, a lifter gloss gives your lips a lot. Not a lot of stickiness, but a lot of product off that applicator at once. The applicators are big, so watch yourself. I can shift from really liking a lifter gloss on my lips to too much, annoying. There's a heaviness that they can have, but I love them when I don't get too much on. And a couple of my faves, I love Moon. Talk about a layering piece over like any of those lip liners I talked talked about, or a Super Stay Matte Ink crayon. My goodness, the amount of times I've put this on top of Live on the Edge. Look at that. It's kind of like a soft nude gloss, but there is a shimmer, a gentle shimmer in it. Said it before, I'll say it again. If you get a gloss with a fine shimmer in it, you're benefiting from shine in two ways. You got the shininess of just the physical texture of the gloss, but then if it's got a little shimmer, that shine is bouncing off even more, okay? So I love Moon. And I've used a lot of lifter glosses, by the way. They got some nice kind of sheer, soft, creamy ones. Gummy Bear is one of those where it's like, okay, she's just showing up a little bit on that pinky color, but overall just a ton of shine. But my other big time fave, and probably the most fave, is Taffy. She's had a long stint in my purse for sure. Look at this. Need I say more? Blot to the top lip, work off the side of your applicator. Even though I've had this a long time, a lot's still coming off on that applicator. That's a color I want anytime. Your face immediately comes to life. You immediately look more finished. They have a soft red in this line as well that's along the same lines of this formula, but those cannot be denied. Great gloss, very hyped. I feel like lots of people love these glosses, but there's a good reason for it. And then for high end, this is a type of gloss that, like, I had it on hand for a while and I was kind of like, these don't really do anything. These don't really, and then I got into them this year. And I'm like, yeah, they actually do something. And the kid in me is actually obsessed with the way they smell, but these from Too Faced. They're the Kissing Jelly Glosses. Many good scents in this range. I love this Birthday Kiss, but when you're talking about a layering gloss that's fun because it gives like a little, scent. Birthday Cake, yes, cake batter. Look at that, how it kind of looks purpley, but watch it sheer out. Again, with working off the side of the applicator, these don't feel too far off from a lifter gloss. Really similar. Texture is so smooth, so hydrating, but they do some fun, like kind of shifty things. You see that like pinky lilac sheen with that one, and the scents are so good. And like I said, I'm somebody who, my gateway to makeup was a flavored lip balm, lip gloss. These kind of take me back to those wand applicator lip smacker days. This Bubblegum, boy did they nail that scent. It just gets me every time I smell it. But how cute would this be, like, with my sweatshirt today? And this is over nothing. Pair that with a pink lipstick or lip liner and you're really gonna be on fire with that shade. But that's so much fun. I even like the one called Pina Colada. It looks yellow in the tube, but it's so good. It's for the fun of it all. And those are a great texture. I mean, if you're gaga about a lifter gloss, you're gonna like the feel of those too. I think lifter glosses should take off and put in some fun scents because that side of the experience, the Too Faced is giving me what lifter gloss is not. For best lip plumper, e.l.f. is taking it in two ways. Well, I have three things to mention. I do have a high-end favorite, but e.l.f. is taking the category with two different products. Now, the Pout Clout pens, I put in a different category last year. I put them, I think, in the tinted lip balm category, but they truly are kind of a lip plumping product. They've got that feel in them, you know what I mean? So let me talk about those first, actually. These have been around a little longer than the other thing I'm gonna talk about, but plumping lip pens are a hot item. I mean, you think about all the different brands that are doing a click up style product that's basically a solid form gloss. It's a product where you're clicking them up and everything that clicks up is transferring down onto the lips. This is the shade called Red My Mind. It's a soft red. But you're getting all that product transferring down, looking ultimately like lip gloss and giving you a sheer amount of color. They smell kind of coconutty, just like the Tarte. Look at that pretty soft red. Have you ever just kind of wanted to try red, but not so sure about maybe going with that much red? Maybe you want this. There's a thickness, a richness. I've used various ones from Tarte, and I've really fallen into loving the e.l.f. ones that are on the more intense end of the e.l.f. spectrum. So Red My Mind is giving me a beautiful amount of color here for what it is. You know, it's not going to be a heavy color thing. It's got some sheerness, but it's rich. It's like gloss coming out of a solid state, but then really turning glossy and soft on your lips. So that's a beautiful one. My most used, maybe my most used product of the year on lips, because this has been in my purse a lot too, but Wicked Cherry, just look at it. I throw this on so many times when I get in the car and I realize, oh, there's nothing left on my lips. Look at that. Brownish, kind of berry, but it's not too dark. Because it's sheer, there's kind of a lightness to it, okay? It's not too serious. I will look in a mirror to apply it, but I'm not being all that careful. But here's the thing. Milani has a great product that's so much like this too, but you are gonna pay like maybe $4 to $5 more depending on your retailer. And when it comes to lighter shades in these lines, I feel like they they kind of all run together, but get into more of the rich part of the color family, and I think you'll really appreciate what they're doing. And yeah, I love those from e.l.f. and I'm getting that cooling tingle. Are they really inflating my lips? I'm not so convinced of that, but I can tell you the richness of shine that's coming off of that stick is definitely not leaving the look of any lines or anything like that in my lips. Also from e.l.f., if you want a more classic lip plumper glossy step, I love what they put out this year with the Glow Reviver plumping lip oils. There are some of these that are absolutely gorgeous on the lips. I've reached for Piggy Bank a lot as kind of a top step in different lip combos. It's just kind of ethereal, light and glowy. Can you see how there's a sheen popping off with this one? This is just bare lips. Soft, glowy, really pretty, could top off absolutely anything, but you're going to feel some plumping tingle with these that goes a little bit beyond just a cooling plump feel, if you know what I mean. Like, it's not too painful for me, but there's a little bit more of a sting with these. Trust me, I would tell you if it was too painful because I don't like uncomfortable lip products. But this other one called Burst Bubble, this looks straight up creamy, no shimmer in the tube, and I think this one is actually gorgeous on the lips. Just bare lips. I think this is a hard kind of shade to nail, a sheer soft pink, but look how pretty that is. Really perfects the lips, just no lines, no streaks. Very good launch by e.l.f. this year. And more heavy duty if you are looking for like, oh, this really plumps. More heavy duty than the Pout Clout pens. For high end in this category, I'm giving it up to the classic Buxom glosses. I really like the full-on plumping lip creams. I know last year I was going off on a couple of special edition scents that were just so good. They had that apple cider mule, they had like pumpkin spice scents, some really good fall and winter scents that really I think should have been made permanent. But just generally speaking, I like the lip creams, the White Russian, Dolly. You can't miss with these, and that classic, refreshing, cooling, plumping feel. And I kind of like how Buxom hasn't inflated their doe foot and made it super huge, you know? You know you're using a Buxom gloss. That's just White Russian. Even on its own, it's going to give you that classic nudie color, but so often that's going to be a layering piece for me. And then Dolly's got that little more mauve-y pink look, and they feel good. Like, that's a cooling feel. Now be advised, we're getting into the colder months. If you have a Buxom lip gloss on your lips and you walk out into cold, windy air, your lips will be freezing, okay? It's like drinking cold water after you've had a peppermint in your mouth. You'll get cold. But that Buxom gloss formula, what a classic gloss feel. Not annoying and sticky, but sticky enough to hang on for a decent amount of time, you know? I've done really good using like one wipe to take all this stuff off. But we're getting to the end now, and I added a category this year for best lip stain because I feel like there's a couple of awesome products that need recognition. One of them got recognition in the face video because it is a multi-purpose product, but I'm talking about these from e.l.f. The Sheer For It little tints. They're all out liquid. They're just like Benefit Benetint. Shade Plums Up, shade Cherry Cola. Those are a couple of my faves. But in case you didn't hear in that video, you know, it's a pure liquid stain. They've got a little funnel-like insert there that's going to allow the liquid product to go right back into the receptacle. But they go on just a wash of color. I love using that plum shade. The Cherry Cola, I've used this in lots of try-ons. I'll link to it below where you can see it in action. Great for your kind of like rusty red, or even just dub it a Cherry Cola lip. I've done that. Beautiful stuff going on here. Weightless, if you're a weightless kind of person and absolutely nothing in this video has appealed to you and you're like, give me something that feels like nothing. These feel like nothing. They dry down like that. And then you can top off with liners. You know, this is not a neat line, especially by the end of a full lip try-on video, but I could take a liner over this, neaten it up, perfect the edge, throw a gloss on top, and you'll still have a long-wearing thing on your lips that actually stained them. And then my last thing to mention are these stains from Milani. I love these. I'm always like coming back to these, rediscovering these, being newly like kind of in awe of these. They're called a hydrating lip stain, okay? This shade is Rose Rising. So you're gonna take it out, you got your doe foot applicator. It's looking like maybe liquid lipstick. Yes, I'm just gonna throw it on top of what I've already got on here. Look how it's giving color and shine. Going on feeling so thin, almost like water weight, but not quite to that point. Let it stay on your lips a little bit. You're mushing your lips together and you're saying, okay, not feeling quite as thin anymore, but still super comfortable. You're getting that shine, but you know what you're also getting? A stain underneath. Need just a plain Kleenex here, but when the shine wears off, You're left with a really pretty stain. Lots of great colors, deeper berries, reds. They're so cool, and they do leave hydration. Like, I just gave a pretty hard blot there, and I still feel like moisture between my lips. That does hang around a decently long time. So I love those. I think those are a really smart product from Milani. And not your traditional stain like these, but they still are staining. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I feel like I talked forever, but I hope you got some good information out of this one. We've got classic faves that have been around a long time. We've got new faves, but just know that lip products are something I'm always trying, assessing, and thinking about. So thank you all for your time today, and I will see you coming up in the finale. I love you. Bye.